But one time we were up there one year, and they had a story from a national magazine, or some reporters from a national magazine. I won't tell you who it is, but it's one you all would recognize. And they wanted to come do a story on this great, cowboy effort. Cowboys came from all over the West to do this. And they stayed there for a couple days, and they took pictures, and then we were up on the range. It's a beautiful range up there, and the cowboys and the ranchers had taken care of the range. And then they did this story. You know what was on the cover? They had taken a picture in the middle of the corral. It was all just dust, except for one little flower. And they had cropped it out to make it look like that was the range. And their story was, this is what these cowboys and these cows are doing to the range. And you know what? I learned something from that. And one of them is this. It's the same thing you all want. All we want is to have an honest conversation about this. Don't go distorting things and saying things that they know are not true when it affects people's livelihoods and affects this great tradition of the American West. And the second thing I want to tell you is that in my district here, we're in my district, downtown Salt Lake. It's a jewel of the state in many ways. It's this beautiful downtown Salt Lake area, but it goes west to the border and all the way south to St. George. If you look on a map, it's almost half of the state. And we set up these, it's so big, we set up these traveling offices where we'll go in these little towns and we'll be there for 2 or 3 hours or half a day, and we just tell people, come on in, tell us what's going on. And to be down there last spring and to have family after family, and these weren't big corporate farms, these were families who would come in and they would put this letter that they'd got from the BLM on the table and say, they're cutting my allotments. They're cutting my permit. One guy told us that the BLM had told him, we'll give you your permit, but you got to trade your water rights for it. And it was this kind of thing, you hear that kind of things, and you look at people who are scared, and Chief, we were talking about what they've done with you, with 3,000 animals down to 300 now, or something like that, is that right? I mean, look, how can you do that? You look at these family farmers, and I want to go to the BLM officers and say, how can you do that to these guys? Well, that's why we're so proud and so supportive of this. When I had conversations back in Washington, D.C., and I just wonder, how can you guys not know why people in the West are so distrustful of the federal government? Because we feel like they rule over us like some king, rather than they're here to serve us or to try to help us.